Hey guys, welcome to this week's recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 15, Flappers of Fury. This episode was super dramatic. And for what? Dramatic for what? Because really, we already knew everything that went down for this episode. So we get a dramatic 12 hours after the Irish party, and it's pretty much letting us know that it's about to go down. It's about to go down in Jersey. So the highlight of this flash forward is that Danielle, she was saying to kiss my flat butt to Margaret. And I'm like, okay, that's entertaining. We get some one-liners from Danielle. Danielle's here to stay. I see her coming back as a housewife. I did enjoy her for this season. And I like this because she got Margaret really wound up to really go after her. So we also get Melissa having a phone call with Dolores. And in this phone call, it's pretty much stating the end of the family, the end of what we know as the beef between Teresa Judice, Louis, and Melissa and Joy Gorga. So this is the event where it's over and it's the final straw. And it's kind of sad to watch, but I felt like this was just waiting to happen. Like this had to happen at some point, some moment. It was just when and who was gonna fire the first shot. So we then get to see 12 hours before it all went down. So we flash back now. So Dolores, she knows how to set up a party. She's a party organizer. I like that she's really taking advantage of this moment to really showcase her being the lady of the house. She has family and friends coming over. And I like that, Paulie, he's being supportive and he's helping with the setup. He arranged for the Irish dancers to come to be a part of this whole party. And I actually like Polly and Dolores together. Polly, he grew on me. I believe Dolores to be the lady of the house. He is so welcoming, so embracing to Dolores, and I'm so happy that Dolores is finally happy and have a supportive and helpful partner. That is key because remember, her in her previous relationships, she'll have the support, but she never really had like a person who was actually there and present to be there for her in this housewife platform. So I feel like it's official for these two, and I'm actually looking forward for the relationship and what direction it goes to. We're hoping for wedding bells, but let's just go with the flow and go with it, okay? So the party had traditional dancers that were greeting the guests. The food looked actually super appealing. I know last time they threw a party, I thought there was a lot of floral decoration and not so much food, but this time it was a good healthy balance of decoration, food, and we got the signature Irish whiskey tying into the theme. They went all out. They know how to throw a party. Yes, Jersey has not let us down when it came to the party department. Okay, so the vibes was there, the ambiance was there, and it was all superb. So you could tell these two definitely will definitely know how to throw a wedding. And I actually look forward to that wedding just to see the Teresa and Louis wedding series, special series that we're gonna see in the following week. So everyone is arriving to the party, and they have to be dressed in 20s theme. And I have to say, they all look good. I was so happy that everyone came into character in their fashion. It was a cute vibe. Frank, he is loving Ireland. He is loving Polly. I feel like these two are now good. I feel like the previous episode, they kind of settled the storyline of how they felt about each other. And I feel like this is a good bond with boundaries. And I project really good episodes with them coming up in the future. Especially, I'm so curious to see how Frank handles the wedding process, to see Dolores have her moment. Because, he's seeing his partner Brittany, but they're not married. So no, Polly and Dolores, I think, will be first in line to get married. And we'll see how, Frank manages and deals with that. So, everyone, mind you, Everyone is invited to this party, okay? Dolores, she's neutral. She's good with everybody, so no one's gonna be missing an invite. So for sure, we're gonna have uncomfortable situations because you know we know that Melissa and Louis doesn't necessarily get along with uh, no, sorry. Joe and Melissa doesn't necessarily get along with Teresa and Louis, and we have Marge and Danielle not necessarily getting along. We still have that Rachel situation. Jennifer Aiden could be a wild card, so we know this party is gonna be drama. So everyone's at the party, the vibes are there, everyone's having fun, and Teresa and Danielle are late, and I feel like was this strategic? Like, I feel like they're always like behind. Come on. But everything is going well, everything is fine. And of course, everyone is gossiping about Danielle right before Danielle arrives to the party, y'all. I feel like Danielle has perfect timing, or the producers have perfect timing to edit this. That, the girls are talking about Danielle right before she gets into the room. I'm like, ooh, she's gonna walk into some mess. So they are all still confused with the Danielle storyline and what's going on with her brother. But, ultimately, we don't get to find that out at all. I feel like that was such a boring storyline. We're kind of closing the end. Like, okay, the girls are just confused. They just don't buy her story, and that was the end of the storyline. So maybe next season we probably get to hear from the brother or from that camp to know what's going on. But that didn't really go anywhere, and that's what really had all the girls kind of going after Danielle. Like, oh, you have issues with your brother. Da 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 da, you can't come after people. You're one to speak, and that was just such a dry boring line. Let's leave that. Let's be done with that. That was done. That's over. So the party is partying, and the guys, they're getting a taste of Ireland, because remember, the partial point of this party was that the guys didn't get to experience Ireland, and Paulie, he wanted to introduce the guys into kind of his heritage. So this is gonna be a moment where we're gonna, of course, have Louis and Joe in the same room, and the previews were so scary. Louis was so red. Joe, I'm surprised he didn't put any pause on Louis. I felt like it was close to blows, guys. It was so close to blows. So now we get a situation where we have Danielle, Rachel, and Melissa, and they're having a talk. Melissa, she's playing the role as kind of like a mediator between Rachel and Danielle, because she feels like their beef is kind of dumb, and it is. Because really, at the end of this, they all the girls talk about each other. No matter who runs to who and tell and say what to who, it doesn't matter. It's part of the show, so that's not a really big groundbreaking information. And you can tell that Danielle and Rachel want to dead the issue. They want to dead this problem. So all the ladies, they confide with one another. They talk behind each other back, and they are kind of accepting of that. Rachel, she takes ownership on her part. Danielle, she kind of takes some ownership, but she doesn't. She's trying to like hold on to her truth, but come on, let that go. But ultimately, these two did not want to fight. They seem to miss their friendship, so they kind of called it truce. But who knows? Because they both were saying stuff about each other in the confessional. So let's see in this reunion what they feel, how they really feel about each other. Let's see how they really feel about each other. So they seem to call it truce. And Danielle, she's letting the girls know that lately she's been off, and they're looking at her, but why? What's the reason? And you can tell Melissa knows. Melissa, you can tell Melissa knows what's about to happen. So, but she's playing along with Danielle. She's playing around along with the storyline. So Melissa says to Danielle, "Why? Is it something? Is it something that's bothering you that we don't know, or does the group not know? Is this information that's like been said?" And you can tell that Danielle sees it as an opportunity to bring it up, but not just yet. Because, she has an itch to really tell Melissa what's being said about her around this group. But that was not the time where she was about to drop it. So Danielle's not ready to drop this secret to Melissa, so they break up, and we get to see Teresa and Louis arrive to the party. So in Teresa fashion, Teresa, she says hi to everyone. She kissed She kissed everyone. She kisses her brother. She says hi to everyone. She acknowledges everybody. But Louis, he says hi to everybody and purposely dodges dodges uh Joe. And I'm like, come on. And Joe sees right through it. Joe is like, no, he did not. That's so obvious. Joe is like, I'm not gonna fall for that. But he sees what he's doing. We see it too. Louis sees it, and I guess this is the best call that he's making. And honestly, it would have been so fake if he was so welcoming and so inviting to Joe, knowing how he feels. So I felt like Louis was keeping it real, and Joe had to kind of accept that. But the funniest moment in this whole episode, y'all, in this whole episode, Jen Fassler, Jen Fassler, she speaks to Frankie Jr. She's looking at Frankie Jr. She's like, Frankie Jr., you got a girlfriend? He's like, no. And she's like, do you have a phone? He's like, yeah, I got a phone. And she told him to take it out. You're putting my daughter, I need your information so I can set you up with my daughter. And I'm like, okay, Miss Jen Fassler, the matchmaker. I'm recapping, if you guys didn't know, I'm recapping Jewish matchmaking. And Jen Fassler, she just reminded me of Eliza collecting bio data, taking guys' information to go share to match people up together. I thought that was so cute. And I actually would love to see that. I would love to see a show where Frankie Jr. goes off and he's dating. I want to see that. Maybe they should show Italian matchmaking or I don't know. I love just matchmaking shows, but that was kind of hilarious to see. I wonder what the daughter actually thinks about her mother putting her hat in the race. So now we are over to Danielle, and she pulls Jennifer Aiden to let Jennifer know that, she's going to tell Melissa. Jennifer Aiden is drunk as a skunk. That girl, whiskey is not your friend. Well, kind of it is because she was actually well behaved at this party. I think when she was at that other party taking tequila, tequila was not her friend. Tequila is nobody's friend. So Jennifer Aiden was like, no, don't do it. She's like, don't do it. No, you can't do that. And I'm like, then why did you tell her? Why did you set Miss Danielle up? Danielle, they're really using you, and you're not saying that. Hopefully, you do after watching this whole season go down. But Jennifer, she doesn't. She knows that she couldn't be the one to go to that to Melissa because she was in Melissa's shoes, and she didn't want, in the sense that you don't want people talking about family issues so publicly. But you could see that this is also a way for Jennifer to keep her hands clean from the situation. And Danielle, she's like, no, I'm going to tell Melissa. And since Jennifer sees that Danielle's headstrong about telling Melissa, Jennifer kind of coaches her. Jennifer says, but focus on it being Margaret having an arsenal and spreading this information. Focus on Laura, the one who's spreading and telling all this information. Keep it focused more on the issue being Margaret and Laura, as opposed to, let's say, Melissa was doing something wrong that's compromising her relationship. Which made me look at Jennifer sideways, honestly. Because the issue is not with Margaret and Laura. It would be the issue if it was true, it would be about Melissa. So you can see Jennifer emphasizing reading, coaching, pretty much essentially coaching Danielle how to go and to talk to Melissa. And I can only think, poor Daniela. Poor Danielle. Poor Danielle, this is your first season and they used you, and you're gonna look so crazy when you look back at this. I feel like this is not even Danielle's fight. Why is this your fight in the first place? Why are you in it? Why are you in it? And you can see the reason why she's in it is that she kind of wants to dig back at Marge. I can understand because she had a whole thing where, oh, Marge having arsenal information, so she wanted to kind of say, hey, look, this is Margaret having arsenal information, but girl, don't be the messenger. So Danielle, she's gonna play the role as the messenger, and of course, the messenger takes the heat, takes the brunt of the situation. So meanwhile, Jennifer, she's controlling the narrative to focus on Margaret and Laura, and we have Danielle as the messenger, and she's gonna go being the messenger. So the people are having fun. They're dressed up. They're having a ball. It's a ball, okay? So Danielle, she pulls Melissa. Melissa's like, why she's pulling me? That's interesting. So Danielle, she shares the information that she knows about Melissa, what's going around. And Melissa is smiling, girl. She knew it. She saw it coming. It was a matter when. It was a matter of when it was gonna go down. When. So Melissa was ready. She was smiling, y'all. She tells Danielle that she has already heard this information. Danielle's like, I would be so shocked. I'd be so confused. I would be shocked and so confused. So pretty much, she already heard this information through her husband. Melissa found this information out through her husband. What happened was, she says that Teresa called Joe over to tell him this information 6 months ago. 6 months ago. Melissa said that it would have been better and less, calculating if Teresa had called both Joe and Melissa for a sit down to ask about this information. But since she didn't, Melissa looked at it sideways and as it was calculating because, why only pull Joe aside to tell him that and give him information so that he can leave her. You know, ultimately, Joe, he doesn't believe in this rumor. Do I believe in this rumor? I, who am I to believe or not to believe? I wasn't there. I wasn't there. But what matters is what Joe feels, what Melissa feels, and let them move about their business. So Joe, he doesn't believe it. And the reason Melissa doesn't make it such a big deal to this group is because she wanted Teresa to enjoy the time preparing up to her wedding drama free. She didn't want to be the one to be the one to ruin Teresa's wedding. So Danielle's like confused, and I'm not confused, but I play around with confused. Let's go with the storyline. Let's go with the plot. So Danielle's like, so why is Margaret off the hook? Like, you're supposed to be mad at Margaret. I'm like, Danielle, you can tell people who to be mad at. You told Melissa, Melissa took this information and she handled how she wanted to handle. So, Margaret in the background, she hears her name and they say, why is she saying, why my ears? Like, why is she saying my name? So, of course, Margaret walks up to the situation, steps into the conversation, and then the girls go at it. The girls go at it, and it was like, damn. I feel like Marge, she made it worse, but she made it pop. She made the situation pop because from this instant, a lot of things just started to happen. It became a fight where uh, 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 Teresa came to see what's going on. Melissa came to see. Joe came to see. It just everything just popped, and we have that iconic moment. I guess it could be a kind of iconic moment where Danielle, she goes at it with March and she says, you can kiss my flat butt, pretty much. And I'm like, not you guys fighting in Dolores and Polly's home. This home is stunning. This home is stunning. We later learned that, these two will be looking for a new home. I don't think they should invite any of y'all because y'all made a mess in that townhouse home. That beautiful home, beautiful, beautiful home. So Danielle, she is going at it with Margaret. Melissa, she shares what just happened to the group, and then Teresa comes in, and I'm like scared because these two, they really look like they're about to fight because Teresa was like, wow, wow, like she was shocked with Melissa's behavior, but Melissa was not backing down. Melissa was like, no, she was waiting for a moment like this, okay? She was waiting for this moment, y'all. She was waiting for this moment, and she let Teresa have it. So Teresa, she leaves, and Melissa, she follows her, and it continues on. And this, you know, for Melissa, at least it seems at first, it seems like this is the first time she was confronting Teresa about this. Like, this is like when it all goes down. So Teresa, she's confronting Teresa about calling her husband, spreading these lies. And in the confessional, we hear how Joe told them that pretty much it's the wrong girl. He doesn't believe it. So why are they continuing to spread this information? Why are they making more of a thing? So Teresa, she in her side, she knew that Jennifer told Danielle. And ultimately she keeps her hands clean by saying that you can't control what other people say. So she pretty much let them do what they do, but the information that came from Teresa. So Jennifer Aiden, she's stuck into this fight and she still blames Marge. She's like, focus on Marge, focus on Laura. They're the ones who are just spreading this information around, not these two. So, Marge, she goes after Jennifer and she says, oh, Jennifer is just on her revenge tour. And she throws it in Jennifer's face how Bill slept with, or had an affair with a subordinate. And guys, that sent Jen off. Jen, she just loses it. She goes off, and then Bill had to pull his wife and apologize to her, said that you don't deserve this. He's gonna have to hear about this later because the only reason that Marge can throw that in her face because he did that, because he did that, y'all. So I was feeling for Bill because I know what he's gonna go home to is not gonna be good. It's not gonna be fun. So Danielle, she's like still all confused. She's like, guys, what about Margaret and Laura? Like, why are they free? Like, what am I missing? And I'm like, girl, that is not the focus. That's not the issue. The issue is what's said about Melissa, if it's true or not who said it. We don't kill the messengers here. If you don't want them to kill you, then you can't be upset that they don't want to kill Margaret and Laura. So we hear from Louis. Louis, he jumps in and he says that he had a private investigator pull information on everyone. Mr. Bodito. Mr. Bodito had all the information, all the tea on everyone in this room. And he told Joe what was going on. And not only that he told Joe what was going on, he said it was just multiple men. So the guys are now about to come to a fight. And I'm like, oh Lord, oh Jesus, oh my God. So Louis and Teresa, they both leave and they go with Bill and Jen and they just leave the party. They had to make their escape. I never seen Louis so red. It must have been the alcohol, but he was so red. So red. So Dolores, of course, the peacemaker, she wants everyone to be okay and kind of like bring everything down. So we get everyone's leaving the party, and we get an update on Danielle. Danielle and her brother, they still haven't talked, y'all. Duh. That was obvious. We didn't need to know that as an update, but she is focusing on bougie kids and her business growing and expanding. So we also get an update from Margaret and from the Marge, and Lexi and her son is still living with her. And I'm like, is this a storyline? Like, it made me realize not much happened with the Marge this whole season, except like old beefs talked about, and that's it. But it wasn't too much of a great season for Marge. Like, okay, and we get we get an update from Rachel too as well, and she officially adopted Jaden, and they celebrated by going to Disney, where Mickey Mouse is the only rat she really likes. So with her, at least we had like a whole storyline, and it kind of ended. We know that Jaden is officially adopted. We don't know what was said about Jaden's mom. Is that our business? No. But then I'm curious to really know what's going to be next for her in the following season. But I think she's going to stay on because her and Danielle have some unfinished business. So I want to see how in this reunion, how they're going to, address some things because they do have to address things after, a lot has been said and everyone had their confessionals where they like to be a gangster. But then in the reunion, they have to really, go and uncover everything once again. So there may be high tension with those two. Now we get a scene, and Teresa's in her home, and she's just feeling absolutely horrible. She wished that Danielle never said anything because ultimately the fingers are always pointed towards her. Like she's the one to take the blame, and she feels like she shouldn't take blame. So now we have Dolores, and she calls and check in on Melissa, like we saw in the beginning of the episode. And Melissa says that Joe feels like Teresa and Louis pushed the issue on Melissa cheating. We get a confessional from Joe, and Joe, he says that it was kind of odd, this conversation, that sit down that they had, because it seemed like they were pushing Melissa cheating with multiple men, and not only that, they kind of wanted him to leave his wife. Instead of when he said, "Oh, I'm dropping this issue. It's not a big deal for me. I don't believe this to be true." They didn't want to drop it, but they felt like, "Oh no, that he deserved better. That something has to happen." He then, what was interesting, he then gets a phone call days later from Gia. Gia likes to be involved. Gia is in everyone's drama. She doesn't make anything. She honestly doesn't help the situation. If anything, she made it worse, because she talks about her aunt and saying how her uncle deserves better, and that he should leave her. I'm like, girl, that's not your place. This is grown people's business. You stay young. You're only gonna be young for just a short amount of time, and then bleep like that, you're grown. Okay. So ultimately, Joe is shocked. Joe is shocked because he feels like that side of the family is trying to hurt him, trying to create a divide within his own family. So at the end, Melissa, she is done. She is done dealing with toxic people. And she lets Dolores know that she is not attending that wedding. And, Dolores, she's going to go and take that information to Teresa to let Teresa know that they're not coming. And Teresa feels like, wow, she she feels like ultimately that Melissa got her wish. This is what she always wanted, to pull her brother away from his only sister. And but Teresa is also done with the situation too as well. So we get an update from about Melissa, and Melissa, she's planning a housewarming party, and of course Teresa and Louis are not invited. We get an update about Dolores, and oh, first Melissa, I don't see how you could come back next season. I don't see it. Let me know down in the comments below. Melissa's not coming back, y'all. Like, what else she has to say after this? I know on social media they are going after and antagonizing her daughter, which is actually so sad. So maybe that could be a storyline for next season. But I feel like she's gonna take a role where she's gonna need at least a season off to really, heal her family, okay, with her kids and her husband. So we then get an update from Dolores. I almost call them Dolores and Polly. Dolores. I think that should be their cute name. So Dolores and Polly, we get an update about them on a search of a new home. And she's hoping for wedding bells to come soon, and I think so. They may be the thing for next season. So of course Dolores is gonna come back, but I love Dolores. Dolores, she gives us good balance of a little bit of drama, fun, and she's the peacemaker. I feel like Dolores is the perfect housewife on this franchise. I think that's why she's in the middle. She's our star. Look at her in the middle of this. Like she's right there. Take a point of it. Right there. Right there. So, we get an update from Jennifer and Bill, and of course, they're still working on their marriage. I'm excited to see Jennifer Aiden to come back for next season, because she says that, oh, the group should do a trip to Turkey. She still has a lot to show. I like to see her kids, update on her kids. She's hilarious. She's fun. She does drama. And she also tries to get along with everyone in the group. So we're definitely going to see Jennifer Aiden come back next season. Now we get our final update with Teresa and Louis. And guys, they are prepping for the wedding, and we get a sneak peek. We get a sneak peek. We get a sneak peek. And guys, the drama, the Housewives. This is like a BravoCon wedding, like BravoCon wedding edition. BravoCon wedding edition, because all the housewives are there. Teresa invited everybody. She spared no expenses. But y'all, the drama, the tears. Marge, she's stirring the pot. Teresa's hair. Guys, this is something to watch, and I look forward to recapping That episode, it's gonna be so epic. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to actually see this wedding. So, guys, if you enjoyed this recap, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I enjoyed every one of you for taking the time to listen to this recap. And as always, share as much kindness as possible. And I'll see you guys soon. Or go on my channel. I have plenty of recaps I have for you guys. So stay tuned and keep watching. Love you guys. Bye.